All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving right in and tearing down the old, invisible wall that has historically blocked small business owners from getting their very first professional commercial. You know, for the longest time, a polished, broadcast-quality spot was treated like this super exclusive luxury. It was basically completely out of reach unless you had a bottomless marketing budget. But today, we're going to look at exactly why that wall has completely crumbled, and more importantly, what that means for your business moving forward.
And honestly, that invisible wall was usually made of one massive, intimidating number, $15,000. For decades, just hearing that a full agency commercial could easily soar past this figure, well, it killed the conversation before it even started, right? A professional 30-second spot used to mean this massive minimum investment. You were paying for a camera crew, specialized lighting gear, location permits, actors, a director, an editor, craft services, insurance, the whole shebang. Just the logistics alone forced most small businesses to sit out of the video game entirely.
But look at this split screen, because this shows a drastic contrast in physical constraints. Over on the left, we've got the old reality. A traditional project averaged about 13 days just to get from concept to final delivery, and that was largely because of all those physical hurdles we just talked about. But on the right, that is the new way. It takes a fraction of the time, and there are literally zero physical constraints. No location scouting, no actor scheduling conflicts, and no paying for idle crew days. This isn't just some minor workflow tweak, it's literally acting as the printing press moment for high-end commercials. It is a fundamental restructuring of the economics of professional video production.
The cost of inaction.
Okay, so acknowledging that old cost barrier is super important. But let's shift gears for a second. Because sitting on the sidelines is actually actively hurting your business today. It's really easy to think that skipping video is just a cautious financial move. But the market is dictating a completely different reality. Just look at this astronomical figure, $223.5 billion. That is the global digital video ad spend hitting the market this year alone. It's massive, and it proves one undeniable fact. Video is no longer a nice-to-have. It's the absolute baseline expectation of your customers. The market is moving incredibly fast, and it simply isn't waiting for small businesses to catch up. And this breaks down the massive engagement jumps you're missing out on by staying out of the video game. Take LinkedIn, right? A platform we don't usually associate with video. They saw a 36% surge, reaching 154 billion video views. When you look at standard social media posts, video generates up to 3 times more engagement than text or static images. And in email marketing, this is crazy. Simply including a video nearly doubles your conversion rate, jumping from 5.4% to 9.1%. So really, the question isn't whether you can afford a commercial. It's whether you can afford not to have one.
Shattering the fake myth.
So if the old cost barriers are totally gone, what is actually holding people back? Well, it's the elephant in the room. You're probably wondering, doesn't AI video look kind of fake? And honestly, this is the single biggest barrier stopping business owners today. And it's a completely valid concern. You've spent years building your brand's reputation and trust in your community, and you obviously want to protect that. Nobody wants to attach their name to something that looks cheap or unsettling or obviously artificial. But let me explain why that fear is based entirely on outdated novelty content from like a year ago.
Because when you apply genuine directorial craft, we completely cross the uncanny valley. We achieve this photorealistic, cinematic texture. Look at these breakthroughs. We now have identity consistency, meaning the exact same face stays locked in across multiple clips and camera angles. We've got perfect lip sync accuracy that matches flawlessly to actual human speech phonemes. We're talking about micro-detail fidelity here. Real pores, skin texture, natural teeth, and real eye reflections. We have temporal stability, so there's no more weird distortion or blurring when a character turns their head. And finally, a consistent reference lock to the director's vision. The result? Broadcast-level lighting and natural hair movement that is indistinguishable from live-action footage, all achieved without ever renting a physical studio.
Meet the Unreal Agency. Let's look at how all this builds into a premium, silver bullet solution that delivers cinematic quality without you having to lift a finger or learn some complicated new skill. I want to introduce you to Digital Pirate AI, the Unreal Agency. This is a done-for-you cinematic studio and is backed by over 30 years of real directing experience. What's absolutely vital to grasp here is that this tech isn't replacing video professionals, it's replacing the tedious, physical parts of video work, like location scouting and setting up cameras. It shifts the work entirely toward creative direction. Digital Pirate AI completely eliminates the need for you to learn a single piece of software or figure out complex tools yourself. It leverages decades of directing expertise to give you an advantage you simply couldn't replicate on your own.
And the process is entirely hands-off for you. Step 1, you bring the story and the offer. That is it. Step 2, Digital Pirate AI handles absolutely everything else. They handle the strategy and scripting, tailored specifically for wherever your ad is going to run. They handle casting the perfect virtual spokesperson for your target audience. They do the full production of visuals, voice, motion, and sound. And critically, they do frame-by-frame human quality control. Remember, this is not some DIY software subscription, and it's not a generic agency handing you a link-paste workflow. You simply bring your vision, and a professional director handles absolutely everything else.
The new marketing reality.
Because those massive traditional costs and 13-day wait times are just completely gone, an entirely new, highly effective marketing strategy is available to you right now. That is iteration. In the old model, a business shot one commercial, crossed their fingers, and just prayed it worked because they literally couldn't afford to shoot a second one. Now, instead of crossing your fingers on one expensive spot, Digital Pirate AI allows you to produce and test multiple cinematic ads. You can test a funny hook against an emotional one, launch them, find out what actually converts your specific local audience within days, kill what doesn't work, and double down on the winner. That level of strategic flexibility used to only be possible with cheap text ads. Now, it is the reality for cinematic commercials.
All those old excuses about video marketing being too expensive, too slow, or too complicated, they simply no longer apply. The barrier is entirely gone. And that makes Digital Pirate AI the clear, undeniable next step for your brand to finally launch the professional commercial you absolutely deserve. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. The tools are here, the massive costs have vanished, and your market is waiting. So the only question left is, what is your very first commercial going to be about? And more importantly, who is going to make it?